How do you get through a breakup? This is a painful moment in life that has the potential to have you become and evolve into the person that perhaps on some level you've always wanted to be. It really is an opportunity to have some rapid acceleration, some rapid reflection, and I get it. It's uncomfortable, and it so is an amazing opportunity. Now, I've been through a number of breakups in my life, and like all content that I post, it's something, anything I talk about, I have been through or practiced or practice. Now, I currently am not practicing how to get through a breakup because I've been a celibate monk for the last 8 years of my life. Prior to that, though, I have been through a number of very meaningful relationships and thus breakups. And I want to share with you, especially as I've been on the other side of these relationships, how I've guided and supported other people to get through relationships. I have a lot of experience around what works the best and how to create the most amount of growth and the greatest amount of ease and the least amount of time being in pain. Okay. So if you're going through this, I'll try to bring a little bit of levity to this whole discussion. The first thing that we always want to do when we're going through something uncomfortable or painful is accept the feelings that we have around it. It's something that we as humans learned at some point, which I understand because it has to do with neurology. And I have a couple neurologist friends who I talk to about this, that we resist what we don't want to feel. Again, it makes sense. Conceptually, it's like, I don't want to feel this, so I'm going to push it away. And as soon as that happens, we're trapped because we are by pushing something away, we're putting energetic focus on it. Right? You can see my hand over here. I'm pushing this thing away. So some part of me is aware that I'm doing this and thus is aware of what's right here. Whatever I'm resisting feeling, whatever I don't want to feel, whatever I'm pushing away, I'm putting energy and actually intent in that direction. And thus it's keeping the thing here. So if I allow it to feel it, if I allow it to be here and I accept that it's happening, what happens is that we activate the power of acceptance, which dissolves hard emotions. Because again, yes, it's uncomfortable to feel things that are challenging. I go through this every day to some degree, more or less. As soon as we accept them and actually accept them into our heart, something shifts. Because on an energetic level, our heart has the ability to transform low frequency emotions. I'm not going to go too much down the rabbit hole around energy, but that's energetically and atomically in the energetic anatomy. That's what's happening on the level of energy. Now, emotionally, what happens is that through our acceptance, we soften, and the feelings that we have that are actually positive feelings, quote unquote positive feelings, high frequency feelings are stronger than low frequency feelings. And when we allow something to pass through, we accept it. Doesn't mean it's never going to come again. It will, but there's an ease and a flow that comes. And in that ease and that flow, and in that space that comes from welcoming something, there's peace. And as we practice that, peace becomes more and more present in our lives. Now, here's the other thing around acceptance. Practice gratitude for the relationship, for the person. No matter what they did to have the relationship end, see if you can be grateful for aspects of the relationship. That gratitude will act as a salve to whatever pain or discomfort or betrayals that have happened. Every relationship on the planet has strengths and weaknesses. Now, your relationship that has just ended probably has more weaknesses than strengths, which is why you're not in it anymore, right? But practice gratitude. Accept what you're feeling, accept everything that's happening and how you're feeling, and practice gratitude and see what happens over time to your navigation of that breakup, of that relationship. Secondly, this is a practice. Free yourself from them and free them from you. What do I mean by this? And how do you do this? Well, you make a choice. The reason that breakups are sometimes dramatic or painful or hard is because we still expect something from the other person. We still expect them to be a certain way, to show up a certain way, to do things for us in a certain way. And we need to, if we really want to be free and allow the relationship to complete, we need to free them from us and free ourselves from the other person. Allow them to be however they are going to be. Now, there might be certain expectations if you're going through a divorce or with children or things like that. So it's a little more nuanced in that regard. But generally, emotionally, free yourself from them. Untether yourself from any responsibility that you have emotionally to how they are. And allow yourself to be free from them too, so that they don't feel that with you, right? That might look like limiting contact and having it only become professional. Again, if you're navigating legal situations or have kids to manage, let it be professional and turn it into a professional relationship. Generally, with our colleagues or our coworkers, we're not talking about our personal stuff. We're there to get the job done. So if that's the case when we're navigating more legal matters or navigating how to be with kids and co-parents and all of that, keep it professional, right? Secondly, allow the relationship to end. What's amazing in the paradox of acceptance is at play here. If we actually have the desire that we want the relationship you want to be with this person, say sometime later in life, fine, that's great. If we don't let this version of the relationship complete, it then becomes highly unlikely that it will happen again. So there's this paradox of accepting something as ending in order for it to have the potential to exist in the future. Isn't that fascinating? That if we don't accept the end of something, it doesn't have an opportunity to begin. Fascinating. I just think that's fascinating. It's so true. And I've worked with people who have sincerely allowed the relationship to complete, took space, completed, did their own thing, went into their own world, and lo and behold, they meet them again. They reach out a couple of years later, and it's fantastic. I'm working with a young man right now who this happened with. 3 years went by, 2 years went by. They had really no touch. They saw each other occasionally, and all of a sudden, she texted him, he texted her. They were like, oh, let's hang out. And they had both grown, and the relationship is so much better, and that love is still there. It's a beautiful thing when that can happen. And if we live with the idea that, or if you live with the idea that this could be great again, and you feed that with emotion, that means you're avoiding the grief that you're feeling right now, most of the time, right? So, and here's another key piece. The two key pieces are accept and free yourself from them. Here's some more nuances. The pain of holding on to the relationship is greater and infinite compared to the pain of releasing someone and freeing yourself from them. The pain of holding on is endless because you're holding on to something that's already completed. In a way, it doesn't make any cognitive or rational sense, but I emotionally understand because the pain of losing them is so great, which I get. But if we hold on, the pain is endless because it's never going to be different. The relationship, just like a person, is never going to come back from the dead, right? It could in the former case that I just gave, but that's only if we accept that it's completed and that it's ended. So the pain of holding on is endless, which makes it worse. The pain of letting go and releasing, it's finite. Now, it still may be painful and uncomfortable and challenging, but it's finite and it will complete as long as we are dedicated to letting go and releasing. So I hope this was helpful. Click a like and subscribe if you made it all the way through, and I'll see you next time.